Momentum, the rhythm gone. Confidence shaken. Every swing looked like a guess. Every shot a reminder of just how brutal this game can be. And then came the back nine. A flicker of hope. A birdie on 11, clean drive, solid iron, one putt, a brief smile. Then another birdie on 15. Was the tide turning? Nope. It faded as quickly as it arrived. A bogey on 16, a misread putt on 17, and a closing par on 18 that felt like a mercy, not a victory. But the scorecard wasn't the only thing speaking loud. Yahoo Sports described it best. Charlie walked slower, shoulders slouched, a step behind his playing partners. He looked up toward Tiger, then back down again. You could feel the weight, not just of the day, but of the expectations crushing in on him. It wasn't a meltdown. It wasn't a learning experience. It was a collapse. And with just one round left to play, the question shifted from can he win to can he survive the cut. Emotion aside, the data paints a brutal picture of Charlie Woods' first round at the U.S. Junior Amateur, and it's one even his biggest supporters can't ignore. According to NBC Sports and WFAA, Charlie's performance placed him firmly in the bottom tier across nearly every key metric. Let's start with the basics. Fairways hit. Out of 14 possible, Charlie found just 4. That's a 28% fairway accuracy rate, far below the field average, and a nightmare for a course that punishes errant tee shots. It didn't get any better from there. His scrambling percentage, the ability to recover and save par when missing a green, was among the lowest of the day. Missed chips, tentative flops, and a few poor reads meant bogeys stacked up quickly. But the most damning stat of all, putts per hole, 2, 1. That may not sound catastrophic until you remember elite junior players at this level typically hover around 1. 6. A half stroke per hole adds up fast over 18. And in Charlie's case, it added up to an 81. Then there were the 4 double bogeys. Not 1, not 2, 4. Every single one of them a momentum killer. Each time Charlie seemed ready to settle, he'd 3-putt, chunk a chip, or sail an approach. The short game, once considered his most mature asset, looked rattled under pressure. And here's where it gets tough. According to NBC projections, the match play cut line sits around +2 or +3. Charlie is +11, meaning he trails by 9 shots with just 1 round to go. Can he climb back? The math says no. But in golf, pride is everything. And right now, he's playing for more than a cut. Because with every swing, that cut line didn't just slip away. It disappeared over the horizon. It was a moment that said everything without a single word spoken. As Charlie Woods walked up to the 10th tee, the cameras cut to a familiar silhouette in the crowd. Tiger Woods. Cap pulled low, arms crossed, and eyes locked in. No smile, no nod, no fist pump, just silence. AFP and Yahoo Sports captured the visual perfectly. This wasn't the proud, engaged Tiger we'd seen at PNC Championships or junior tournaments past, where he'd kneel behind Charlie to read putts, whisper advice, offer encouragement after a tough hole number. This Tiger looked like a statue, unmoving, unreadable, watching each shot like it carried the weight of the family name. It did, and Charlie saw it multiple times during the round. After a flared drive, a pulled putt, a sloppy double, Charlie glanced toward the rope line, toward his dad. But Tiger never moved. Not even a head tilt, just a cold stare under that iconic Nike cap. In that silence it roared. In past appearances, Tiger had been his son's caddy, coach, and hype man Al-Anon. But now, on the biggest stage of Charlie's young career, he stood back. Was it by design to let Charlie fight his own battles, or was Tiger feeling the weight too? Golf Monthly and WFAA both noted how unusual it was to see Tiger so visibly distant. Analysts speculated, was he frustrated? Was he shielding emotion? Was he allowing his son to grow? Or did he not know what to say in the face of a public collapse? And let's be clear, this wasn't just any round. This was a gut punch. The round every young golfer fears. And to have your father, the greatest to ever do it, watching silently from the sidelines, it wasn't anger. It wasn't disappointment. It was something deeper. And somehow it said everything Charlie needed to hear. The scorecard doesn't lie. An 81 on day 1 tied for 242nd out of 264. The projected cut line at least 9 shots ahead. And now all eyes are on round 2 because for Charlie Woods, living youth stage Charlie Woods, he wasn't walking alone. A massive gallery trailed him. Dozens of reporters lined the ropes, and among them calmly inside the fairway was Tiger Woods himself. Hat low, arms crossed, silent. No one needed reminding this wasn't just any junior golfer. This was his son. Charlie had earned this moment. Just weeks earlier, he pulled off a gritty AJGA victory that turned heads across junior golf. And then came Coral Springs, a brutal 3-for-1 playoff where he drained a clutch birdie to snatch the final U.S. junior qualifying spot. It wasn't given, it was taken with nerves of steel. By the time he teed it up in Dallas, the buzz was deafening. Golf Monthly had dubbed him a dangerous wild card. NBC's analysts highlighted how his form had matured. Every camera lens was aimed squarely at him. Every swing, a headline waiting to happen. For Charlie, this was both a dream and a test. But as he stepped to the first tee, eyes locked forward and Tiger trailing just steps behind. The tone was clear. He wasn't here to be watched. He was here to compete. The walk, the demeanor, the calm, it all looked right. All the ingredients for something special were there. But no one, not even Tiger, could have predicted what followed next. By mid-morning on the 21st of July, the buzz had turned into stunned silence. Charlie Woods, after months of steady progress and hype, opened his U.S. Junior Amateur campaign with a shocking 8-11 over par, leaving him tied for 242nd out of 264 players from contender to long shot in just 18 holes. It didn't take long for the wheels to wobble on the front nine. Charlie couldn't find fairways. Off the tee, he was uncharacteristically erratic drives, leaking left, pushed right, or landing short in thick rough. The result? 2 double bogeys and a string of bogeys that ballooned his score early. What started as a nervous stumble became a full-blown slide. Golf Monthly described it bluntly. An uphill task before day 2 even began. There was no sugarcoating this one. By the 5th hole, the gallery energy had shifted. The cheers turned into hushed murmurs. Phones came down. Cameras pointed less frequently. Everyone was watching, but now with concern, not curiosity. On the back nine, there was the slightest flicker of fight. Charlie carded 2 birdies, including a smooth 12-tee putt at the par 313th. But by then, the damage had been done. The rhythm never returned. The confidence didn't resurface. 1 step forward, 2 steps back. What made it harder to ignore was the body language. Not just Charlie's, but Tiger's. As reported by Yahoo Sports, the defining visual was this. Charlie glances up at Tiger, then back down again. A quiet, weighty moment. No words, just the shared realization that things were spiraling. Charlie walked off the 18th green without celebration, without acknowledgement, just a slow walk back to the clubhouse. Cap pulled low. A round that started with fireworks ended in near silence. This wasn't just a bad day. It was a full-on unraveling. It's one thing to watch a rough round unfold in real time. It's another to break down the numbers afterward and realize just how bad it really was. NBC Sports and WFAA didn't mince words. Charlie Woods had one of the worst statistical performances of the day at Trinity Forest. Start with the driver. Charlie hit just 3 of 14 fairways, among the lowest in the entire field. And when you're playing a championship setup, starting every hole from the rough or worse, you're already digging a hole. The fairway stats alone told the story of a round that never got started. And it didn't get any better around the greens. Scrambling the ability to save par after missing a green was nearly non-existent. Time after time, Charlie missed the target, then compounded the mistake with either a poor chip or a missed short putt. His scrambling percentage hovered in the danger zone, putting even bogey in doubt more often than not. Then came the flat stick. Putts per hole, a full stroke above the field average. On fast, firm greens like these, that number is the difference between staying in contention and sinking fast. NBC pointed out that Charlie had 35 putts, while most players inside the cut line had 28 or fewer. And momentum. 4 double bogeys don't just hurt the scorecard, they shatter any attempt to build rhythm. Each time it looked like he might stabilize, another big number dragged him deeper into the leaderboard basement. In total, Charlie finished 12 shots behind the projected +2 cut line for match play. 12, that's not a stumble, it's a collapse. By the numbers, he didn't just struggle, he was outclassed. And that cut line, it got further away with every single swing. As Charlie Woods walked off the 18th green at Trinity Forest, the cameras didn't just follow him. They panned immediately to the man trailing behind. Tiger Woods, hat low, arms crossed, eyes fixed straight ahead. No words, no reaction. Throughout the round, Tiger walked every step inside the ropes. But what stood out wasn't his presence. It was his silence. In past appearances, we've seen him crouch beside Charlie, offer tips, fist bumps, even laughter. But on this day, the usual support system was eerily quiet. There were no pep talks, no whispered encouragements, just the sound of gallery murmurs and cleats crunching on Bermuda grass. Multiple reporters picked up on it. Yahoo Sports described Tiger as visibly tense but composed. while Golf Monthly noted his expression never changed, even after Charlie's fourth double bogey. That stillness, that unreadable look said more than any words ever could. And maybe that's what made it all feel heavier. For once, it wasn't just about a struggling teenager on a big stage. It was about what this moment symbolized for them both. A generational torch flickering in the wind. The greatest golfer alive watching his son falter in front of the world. Not as a coach, not as a cheerleader, just watching. Commentators speculated that the pressure may finally be cutting both ways. Tiger has done everything to shield Charlie from the expectations. But how do you escape a name like Woods when it's stitched on your bag and your dad is 3F'd behind you every step of the way? And Charlie? He glanced back at Tiger after multiple bogeys, a look not of panic but of uncertainty, as if asking silently, "What now?" Sometimes silence says more than any outburst ever could. Day 2 at Trinity Forest brought clearer skies, lighter winds, and one last shot at redemption for Charlie Woods. And to his credit, he came out swinging. His second round, a 74+3, was tighter, steadier, more composed. The erratic double bogeys were gone. The body language looked firmer. But in the unforgiving world of championship golf, improvement doesn't always equal survival. The final tally, +14 across 2 days. Charlie missed the match play cut by a staggering 12 shots. The line stood at +2, and his name wasn't even close. NBC Sports called it one of the most high-profile exits of the week. Not just because of his last name, but because so many believed his game was finally ready to speak for itself. That belief didn't come from hype alone. His Coral Springs playoff earlier this summer, where he birdied the final hole under intense pressure, showed a level of poise beyond his years. That was the version of Charlie Woods the golf world hoped to see this week. Focused, fearless, free. Instead, they saw a player still figuring it all out in the harshest spotlight imaginable. And make no mistake, the spotlight isn't going anywhere. Every round he plays, every tournament he enters will be broadcast, analyzed, dissected. He doesn't just carry clubs, he carries a legacy. That's not a fair burden for any 15-year-old. But it's his reality now. Still, there's something to be said about showing up after a collapse. There's something in that second round 74. The grind, the effort, the refusal to quit that speaks louder than the scoreboard. Greatness isn't built in highlight reels. It's built in recoveries, in setbacks, in silence. Is this the making of a champion or the start of a brutal reality check? Either way, Charlie's story is just getting started. Every swing is recorded, every move dissected, and just off the fairway, Tiger Woods, stoic, silent, watching, his presence alone says everything. The GOAT standing guard over his son's biggest moment yet. The media buildup has been relentless. NBC Sports and Golf Monthly ran stories all week hyping Charlie's run after his clutch playoff win in Coral Springs. A name to watch, they said. A player growing into his own game. He wasn't just writing the Woods legacy, he was forging his own identity. And make no mistake, this wasn't a charity invite. Charlie earned his spot. His AJA win earlier in the year silenced doubters. His qualifying playoff birdie ice cold. So, by the time he stepped onto the grass in Dallas, one thing was clear. This wasn't Tiger Woods' kid playing golf. This was Charlie Woods, the contender. But here's the thing. Golf doesn't care about your last name. It doesn't care who's watching. And under pressure, even legacies can crack. What happened next wasn't just a bad round. It was something no one, not even Tiger, could have predicted. The first TOT sailed left, the second hole a double bogey. And by the time Charlie Woods made the turn at Trinity Forest, the wheels had already come off. His scorecard told a brutal story. 81 strokes, 11 over par, leaving him tied for 282nd out of 264 players. Let that sink in a tournament built for breakout stars, and Charlie found himself near the bottom of the board. On the front nine, things unraveled fast. +8 through 9 holes. Tee shots were wild approaches short, and the short game, usually a strength, looked hesitant. Multiple double bogeys, including a disastrous 4-putt on the par 37th, erased any early momentum. The rhythm gone. Confidence.